Chautauqua 2011 is made possible by funding from the We the People program of the National Endowment for the Humanities, and Maryland Public Television is the official media sponsor.
Welcome, everybody. I think this is my 4th or 5th Chautauqua, and I always love coming to these because I learn something new. You're going to learn something too, right? But the first part of this program is just to kind of ease you into it. But I do play a couple Civil War songs, so finally, Chautauqua has caught up with me. I'm so excited. But I'm not going to start with those. I'm going to start with a song I wrote based on a book called The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. Some of you may have read it. It's a wonderful book about a serial killer. And, you know, it's a nice, cool summer day. Let's think about serial killers in Chicago in 1893. This is from a girl's perspective who travels from somewhere in Illinois or Indiana to the big city, and this is kind of what happens to her. Things were better for me at the turn of the century. Didn't know what I wanted, but the future loomed in front of me. The city shimmered with steam, with smoke, and with mystery. We pretend we don't know life's an exercise in futility. Well be me, just howling at the moon. Because for all the effort I make, I still feel my sad heart break, and I bow before concrete and steel with humility. I just wanna ride that big wheel into the sky. I just wanna feel like I could fly, like everyone else here. I just wanna buy my ticket. Gates, well, that's the whole wide world, and everything is new to the eyes of this girl. Well, there's crystal clear water, there's bright city lights, there's costumes and dancers that light up the night, machines that crackle and sparkle with utility. I just wanna ride that big wheel into the sky. I just wanna feel like I could fly, like everyone else here. I just wanna buy my ticket. My family, well, I thought that I could do better. Now all they have are all those unreturned letters. Well, this is the story of my liberty. I was a cog in the grinding gears of the city, a line in a novel 100 years from now. That's all that's left of me. And I just wanna ride that big wheel into the sky. I just wanna feel like I could fly, like everyone else. Thank you. So I studied history in college. This is what you can do with a history degree. You can become a songwriter. And I'm kind of serious about it. When you study history, you study it because you're fascinated by people in the past and their motivations. And that's why a lot of people are here tonight, to learn about it. One of the most amazing ways to learn about history is by an historical reenactor, Doug Mishler, who you're going to see tonight. Well, excuse me, Jefferson Davis, is amazing. But it makes history come alive when you start to realize that these were real people with emotions and blood pulsing through their bodies. It just kind of becomes incredible. So I love that Chautauqua does this, these live talkbacks where you can actually ask the historical question, the historical person a question. It's amazing. So I didn't ever think that I would actually have a job as a songwriter, but I do for the last 8 years. And then you just wait long enough, and if you write history pop songs, eventually the Maryland Historical Society will find you. And that's what happened to me. They found me, and now I get to be their artist in residence, which is really cool. If you don't know where the Maryland Historical Society is, it's in the Mount Vernon neighborhood of Baltimore City, and it's a beautiful old building. They've been in operation since the 1840s, and they have amazing artifacts. And right now, for the next 4 years, they have an amazing Maryland-specific Civil War exhibit that you can go visit and see Maryland diaries and primary sources from Marylanders who lived through the Civil War. So if you're interested in that, go to the Maryland Historical Society or pick up a card and email me, and I'll tell you how to get there. I promise. I'll get back to you within 3 months. I'm going to play you a song, sort of traditional Civil War song. This is written, I believe, about 3 to 4 years after the war started. A beautiful, sad song. We shall meet, but we shall miss him. There will be one vacant chair. We shall linger to caress him when we breathe our evening prayer. When a year ago we gathered, joy was in his mild blue eye, but a golden cord is severed, and our hopes in ruin lie. We shall meet, but we shall miss him. There will be one vacant chair. We shall linger to caress him when we breathe our evening prayer. At our fireside, sad and lonely, often will the bosom swell at remembrance of the story, how our noble Willie fell, how he strove to bear our banner through the thickest of the fight, and uphold our country's honor in the strength of manhood's might. We shall meet, but we shall miss him. There will be one vacant chair. We shall linger to caress him while we breathe our evening prayer. And we shall meet, but we shall miss him. Oh, there will be one vacant chair. We shall linger to caress him when we breathe our evening prayer. Thank you. So I do write some history songs, and if you like history songs, actually they're all love songs. They're just through the lens of history, really, because I'm fascinated by that most unique of human emotions, love. But this is a song that was inspired directly by a very famous photograph by Dorothea Lange called The Migrant Mother, and it was taken in 1936 when she and her husband traveled the U.S. taking photographs and documenting the United States Depression. I know this is not time appropriate, so we're going to move forward in time a little bit, and then I'll take you way back to the Civil War. But I like the song because it's about hope and survival. So just close your eyes, relax. You got some nice air conditioning going on. Just pretend, if you can, that you're on a train going from Oklahoma to California. And picture that photograph. It's such a beautiful photograph, and the deep lines in her face. And the most interesting thing about that picture of Florence Thompson is that she was only 32 in that picture. So think about the life what kind of life she was leading. It makes me feel grateful. This one's called 1933 to California. There's no happy ending, so don't be holding your breath. There's not a word worth defending. Bury me with my regrets. This life has worn me down, but God won't take me yet. I gotta leave this town. I gotta place my bet. California, you seem like promised land. You feed my children, you work my hands. When I lay down to pay the final toll, take my body, leave my soul. We ride the rails at night. We beg for food all day. My heart is hollow and my belly's tight, and I've got no money left to pay. Oh, California, you seem like promised land. You feed my children, and you work my hands. When I lay down to pay that final toll, take my body, leave my soul. There's no happy ending, so don't be holding your breath. There's not a word that's worth defending. I'll be buried with my regrets. But oh, California, you seem like promised land. Feed my children, and you work my hands. And every line that I wear upon my face, you can see the sorrow of our human my children, and you work my hands. When I lay down to pay that final toll, take my body, leave my soul. Leave my soul. Leave my soul. Thank you. This next song requires just one moment of tuning, so I'll chat at you while I do that. I'm a Baltimore-based singer-songwriter, and I put cards out on the table, so during the break, there's going to be a small break between myself and Jefferson Davis while they get the stage set for you. You can meet me up there, but I'm sure it'll be very brief. We'll also, afterwards, we'll be there. I do have CDs for sale, so after you support the Maryland Humanities Council, if you feel like supporting an independent songwriter, I do take credit cards and cash. And I'd love to sell you some music, including CDs that include the songs that I just played. So if you like those and you want to take them with you, you certainly can. And I would love to get them to you. So this is the song that brought me to the attention of the Maryland Historical Society. I studied primarily military history in college, German and Russian military history. I was fascinated by war and bombs. The war we're talking about today was very, very barbaric. 625,000 people died. It was one of the bloodiest wars in our recent history. And wow, what a downer. I'm so sorry. But we all know why we're here. And I'm so pleased with the turnout. I know you guys aren't here just for the air conditioning. You're here for a little bit of educational stuff too. But please come back tomorrow, because before your very eyes, Abraham Lincoln will be here. And then on Friday, what day is it? Yes, Friday, Harriet Tubman. And last year, I got to see Sacagawea, which I don't know about you, but I had always pronounced it Sacagawea. And I learned that I was pronouncing it incorrectly. So you're going to learn something today, and it's just going to amaze you how that's going to travel with you for a year, and you'll be annoyingly correcting everyone you meet with correct pronunciation. You'll be like, no, I talked to the girl herself. I know how her name is pronounced. So anyway, my name is Ellen Cherry. I love being a part of the Chautauqua Festival. I hope that you're enjoying this, and I'm so glad you're here to support this. This is a free program for you, and it's important that you spread the word and come back again tomorrow. There's nothing good on television anyway in the summertime, right? So this is one of my anti-war songs. What's wrong with peace, love, and understanding, right? But this is the story. It could either be a Confederate or a Union bride. This is the story of a Civil War bride, and I don't think it needs more explanation than that. And you'll follow her journey through the war. But this is near the end of the war, 1864. Thanks again for listening and being so attentive. I hope to see you out on the road, and enjoy tonight's performance. I'm not quite in tune yet, and I refuse to do that to you, even though it's a free show. You deserve an in-tune guitar. There we go. Thank you guys so much for listening. Stay hydrated, okay? Became of me. My loneliness and desperation will be the stuff of history. You have wandered off to fight the war and misdirect the call of cannon's roar. You said to lead a man's life, you must do more. words to reach my ears for what is now so many silent years. No whisper on the wind, no twinkle of the stars to calm my fears. I worked my fingers down to bones to make for us a warm and happy home. Now my soft and secret heart is hardened into stone. And I hate you for it. Last night I dreamed that you came back to me and we lived on and on so happily. Before I woke you said to me, darling, this'll never be. And I loved you for that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is such an honor to perform at the Chautauqua series. This must be my fourth, maybe fifth time. And I've done a lot of things in my career, but I've never opened for the greatest president of the United States ever. So in preparation for this, normally I wing it and just play whatever comes to mind, but I actually did a little research and tried to come up with songs that are appropriate for President Lincoln. The first one was a medley of tunes that he would have heard and would have been popular at the time. The first one was Home Sweet Home, which you remember Bugs Bunny in his den, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So what I did was use the Earl Scruggs arrangement because I always play some Earl Scruggs. The second tune was Listen to the Mockingbird, which you might remember as the Three Stooges theme. But those were very popular during Lincoln's time. Here's another one that was also popular during that time by the great Stephen Foster. Oh, I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. I'm going to Louisiana, my own true love for to see. Oh, Susanna, now don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Well, it rained all day the night I left. The weather, it was dry. The sun so hot I froze to death. Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, now don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Actually, I live in downtown Washington. Well, I had a dream the other night while everything was still. I dreamed I saw my Susanna coming up the hill. A buckwheat cake was in her mouth, a tear was in her eye. She said, I'm going way down south, Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, now don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. You know, it really sounds good when everyone sings together. Let's do that. Oh, Susanna, now don't you cry for me, for I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Of course, one of the reasons that we call President Lincoln our greatest president was that he stewarded our country through a terrible, terrible time of war. And here's a song that speaks to that. I learned this from the Country Gentleman. This is called Two Little Boys. Two little boys had two little toys, each had a wooden horse. Gaily they played each summer day, warriors both, of course. One little chap had a mishap and broke off his horse's head. Wept for his toy, but cried with joy when he heard his brother say, do you think I could leave you crying when there's room on my horse for two? Climb up here, Joe, and stop your crying. We'll mend up your horse with glue. When we grow up, we'll both be soldiers, and our horses will not be toys. Then maybe we will remember when we were two little boys. Long years had passed, war came at last, and bravely they marched away. Cannons roared loud amid that wild crowd, where wounded and dying Joe lay. Then came a cry, a rider dashed by, out from the ranks of blue. Galloped away to where Joe lay. Then he heard his brother say, do you think I could leave you dying when there's room on my horse for you. Climb up here, Joe, we'll soon be flying to the ranks of the boys in blue. Can't you see, Jack, I'm all a-tremble. It may be the battle and the noise, or it may be because I remember when we were two little boys. Thank you. Because I only have 20 minutes, I don't get to tell all the stories that usually go with these songs. I'm going to get right into it. But I do want to say about this particular song that this one, and the cell phone is not mine. This particular song, it's an old fiddle tune, possibly related to an Irish tune. I'm not sure about that. But up until the Civil War, this was called Payday in the Army. Had some other names. And then during the Civil War, they came up with some words, and they called it Soldier's Joy. Interestingly enough, Soldier's Joy was the nickname for a new drug that had just come out called morphine. Morphine was the only drug that was able to ease the agony of a battlefield wound, and that's why they called it Soldier's Joy. So here it is. Thank you. I want to mention very briefly that the tune that I just played, Soldier's Joy, the next one that I'm about to play, are on my CD, which I conveniently forgot to bring with me today. However, just go to cdbaby.com/BanjerDan, not Banjo Dan, that's a guy in New England, Banjer, B-A-N-J-E-R, Dan, and that's me, and you'll find my CD there. Very briefly, Banjer is kind of the way the name of this instrument was said before it became standardized as banjo in this country. It came from Africa, and it was called umbanza or Banjer or Banjar, had several names. So I'm going to do this song that I wrote myself. I got to get one original in here. And this is kind of a protest song. It's called The Guys in the Suits and Ties. When you're dealing with the guys in the suits and ties, money talks. When you're looking for an answer in their cold, flat eyes, you know it walks. If I could find my way back to the days of my youth, when life was just a search for beauty and truth, I'd stay far from the guys in the suits and ties. In the office all day, you start to lose touch with what is real, when the only thing you think about all day long is the next deal. You're trapped in a box breathing old stale air, and you run your fingers through your graying hair, and you're surrounded by the guys in the suits and ties. When I was young, I swore I'd never live that life, but now I'm tied to a mortgage and a car in the arms of my loving wife. So I have to leave my kids to go and chase a dollar, and my neck begins to chafe in its starched white collar. 'cause I'm one of the guys in the suits and ties. When I was in school, I wouldn't follow the rules. I didn't want to live that way. Then later on, I thought all I wanted could be bought. I believed the things that money had to say. Now I get my vacation and we go away for 2 short weeks. But no matter where we go, I just can't find the peace I seek. At the end of the summer, I still can't relax, and the doctor gives me pills for my aching back, 'cause I'm living with the guys in the suits and ties. Now the company's used me till I'm all worn out. I've got nothing more. So they'll throw me a party and they'll say, well done. Now here's the door. I'll get a pension and a watch and the time to dream about all the things that might have been. And I'll be buried in a suit and tie. Thank you. This thing was in tune when I bought it. Aha. All right, here's my last number, and then we are going to bring out President Abraham Lincoln. I'm very excited at this to get to play my 4th or 5th Chautauqua, and that it's President Lincoln this time. And I selected a medley of patriotic tunes, and it opens with one that I don't normally play because it was kind of the theme song for the other side, but this was also one of President Lincoln's favorite songs, so just indulge me. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate your time and attention. Sure, sing if you want. Now the chorus. One more time. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Thank you very much. Good night.
I'm very honored to be a part of this celebration of a true American hero, Harriet Tubman. And I'd like to start out with a song that I wrote about the Civil War Battle of Fredericksburg, Virginia. That was in December 1862, and the Union troops were sent time and time again up a heavily fortified hill above the city, and they were basically slaughtered. After the battle, the northern lights were seen in the sky. In Fredericksburg, on a cold December day, one more battle of 1862. Thousands charged the wall and guns on Maury's heights. Thousands fell before the day was through. As darkness covered the living and the dead, the northern lights shimmered in the air. And many a man who lay dying saw the face of his beloved up there. Northern lights, be my messenger. Take my love home to her. Tell her that I died with beauty in my eyes under Virginia skies. To those on the heights, the lights meant victory. To some, it was thanks they didn't die. But some saw the dress she was wearing the day that she kissed him goodbye. Northern lights, be my messenger. Take my love home to her. Tell her that I died with beauty in my eyes under Virginia skies. Men who were there later said the very ground moaned for throats that could not speak or cry, while all eyes they could see sought the lovely lights as if they were a prayer from up high. Northern lights, be my messenger. Take my love home to her. Tell her that I died with beauty in my eyes under Virginia skies. Tell her that I died with beauty in my eyes under Virginia skies. Thank you. It was after that battle that General Robert E. Lee looked out upon the scene and said, "It is good that war is so terrible, lest we grow too fond of it." In the Deep South, it was against the law to teach slaves how to read or how to write. So they communicated in the songs, in the spirituals they sang. And this is one of them, Follow the Drinking Gourd, which I always knew that, the drinking gourd is the Big Dipper, and that leads to the North Star. But it's actually much more detailed a code than that. This song really gives specific directions for escaping to the north, from Mobile, Alabama. Peg Leg Joe was kind of this mythic man. I don't think they've proven that he actually exists, but he was a one-legged sailor, and he was fairly innocuous, and he would travel from plantation to plantation and would teach the slaves this particular song. His mark was one left foot and a round hole, and that was put on the trees along the escape route. It actually told when to escape to in the wintertime, when the sun is getting stronger, and the quails are migratory, and they would come down from the north to the fields in the south. So when you heard the quails call, it was winter. And then it said to go north along the riverbanks of the Tombigbee River and go over the hills, and that's the Tennessee River. And when the Tennessee River ends in the Ohio River, then somebody would be on the other side of the river to help you go the next stage of the journey. It took about a year's worth of traveling to get to the Ohio, which put you in the wintertime, which meant the river was frozen, so you could walk across it. So I found all that very fascinating.
Follow the drinking gourd, follow the drinking gourd. The old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. When the sun comes up and the first quail calls, follow the drinking gourd. The old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Now the riverbank makes a mighty good road. The dead trees will show you the way. Left foot, peg foot, traveling on. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Now the river ends between two hills. Follow the drinking gourd. There's another river on the other side. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. When the big river meets the little river, follow the drinking gourd. The old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the drinking gourd. The old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. Follow the drinking gourd. For the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom. If you follow that drinking gourd.
Thank you. Thank you. One admirer of Harriet Tubman said, during the time period said, she always came in the winter when the nights are long and dark, and people who have homes stay in them. which I guess meant that they were least likely to see anybody escaping. She was also called Moses because she led her people to freedom. And she sang this song, Wade in the Water. This was also an instruction to the slaves who wanted to escape, because by following a riverbank, wading in the water, crossing over a body of water, you would throw off any pursuing dogs.
In the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's those children dressed in red? God's gonna trouble the water. Must be the ones that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's those children dressed in white? God's gonna trouble the water. Must be the ones, all the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Who's those children dressed in blue? God's gonna trouble the water. Must be the ones that made it through. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. I said wade in the water, wade in that water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble 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 the water. So wade.
Take one little sip here. I've got one more song to do for you. And all this route of safe houses and escape routes also became known as the Underground Railway. And there were conductors. There was one song in particular, "The Gospel Train's a-comin'." And when a slave heard that song being sung, they knew that there was either a conductor nearby or there was a group of slaves ready to escape. If you want to join in and sing, please do. These are songs that were meant to be passed on by an oral tradition. They didn't have pieces of paper. They couldn't read, they couldn't write. And if they were caught with that, then they faced an ultimate penalty. The gospel train's a-comin', I hear it just at hand. I hear the car wheels rumbling and rolling through the land. Get on
Little children, get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many more. Get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many more. I hear the train a-comin', it's comin' round the curve. She's loosened all her steam and brakes and strainin' every nerve. Get on board, little children, get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many more. Get on board, little children, get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many more. The fare is cheap and all can go. The rich and poor are there. No second class aboard this train, no difference in the fare. Get on board, little children, get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many more. Get on board, little children, get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many more. Get on board, little children, get on board. Little children, get on board. Little children, there's room for many more. Get on board, get on board, get on board. There's room for many on board. Thank you. Good night.
This life has worn me down, but God won't take me yet.
Jack, I'm all a-tremble. It may be the battle and the noise, or it may be because I remember